Hello and welcome to Talk from Superheroes. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Ivemy.
And I'm Diana McCullum.
And you're listening to Talk from Superheroes, where every week we discuss a piece of heroic television or film. And we lied to you last week.
Oh, if you think we're doing Nobody 2, we're not.
Whoopsie doodle. Oops, we called an audible. We just decided to change it. At the end of last week's episode, we mentioned that we would be doing Nobody 2, but we changed our minds. We changed our minds. We changed our lives. We're changing every day.
We're fluid. We go with the flow, and the flow said, hey, Weapons made a lot of money and has really good reviews. And we're like, haven't heard anything about Nobody 2, so.
And it was like, I'm interested in Weapons. Let's go check it out.
We just wanted to watch this movie, you guys.
And this is our podcast. We can change around the episodes, you know?
We're adults.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want. We can have ice cream for dinner. We can do Weapons when we're supposed to do Nobody 2. No one can stop us.
I'll ship a Theseus this whole goddamn podcast, and I'll change each episode plank by plank. But it'll still be the same ship, which is wild.
It will be. And he has the audio software to do it, you guys. I don't know what that would mean.
Bite by bite, I'll get my hands in the waveforms.
What are you replacing it with?
Oh, I get right in there. I'm Tron.
Is it you doing an impression of me?
I'm Tron. I'm Johnny Mnemonic. I'm in it. I'm in the codes.
Are you Neo?
No.
Oh,
no,
you're
I'm not that
Neo, though.
No.
Damn.
I'm max out at Johnny Mnemonic. I'm not Neo. on
the lesser Keanu.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Johnny Utah on a good day. Mostly I'm maxing out at a Johnny Mnemonic. I'm not making it up to a John Anderson.
Oh man. This is just like I kind of like love to hear it and hate to hear it at the same time. I'm like, I want your confidence to be like Neo levels, but I'm also like, it's nice how humble he is.
Yeah,
it's nice that he's modest.
I'm not on the Keanu Johnnies. I'm not Neo or Wick, but I could be Mnemonic or Utah.
He could play less Johnnies now that you bring this up. This is just too many Johnnies.
Yeah, a lot of Jonathan Johnnies. That's our boy.
Has he ever played a Jack? Do you think Constantine was also named John?
Yeah, John Constantine. Yeah, I can be a Constantine.
Oh,
I'm not reaching Wick or Neo.
No, you could. Oh God, John Wick! Damn it, Keanu.
Yeah.
Holy, has this been brought up before?
He just looks like a John. Yes, it has. It for sure has.
I just have never heard.
You've never.
No one's ever put the pieces together in front of me of like, want to hear all the Johns that Keanu Reeves has played?
It is like. It is just kind of weird that I guess a lot of people, casting directors and directors in particular, look at him and be like, you look like a John.
But then his name's Keanu.
Keanu.
Like the coolest, most original name in the world.
Awesome.
Showed you, casting director. I'm Keanu.
Showed you, planet Earth. I'm Keanu.
He's not in this movie.
No.
He's not in either of the movies we were going to do.
No, we've just gotten off track here because I'm in the code, was how we got on this. But we're talking about Weapons this week. Yeah, quite a bit of buzz, a lot of talk about it. I was interested in checking it out. I'm like, why are those kids Naruto running? There were some things that I wanted to know.
There's some mysteries we have to find out the answers to.
Yep.
And mostly around Naruto running.
So this is a new movie. It came out last week in theaters. Since it is a new film, whenever we talk about a new movie or TV show, we give you a spoiler-free review. And then once you hear the theme music, we will be entering the spoiler-filled section of the episode. So let's start with a spoiler-free review. The usual, the simple question, Diana, did you like it?
I really liked it. If it's not a love, it's as close to a love as you get. I'm not super into horror, so this is kind of a derailing for us, so off the beaten path of what we normally do. But I really liked it. The story's really interesting. The mystery's really interesting. I feel very content in the resolving of the mystery, so I like that. I'm not like ambiguous as shit, which happens a lot in a horror or some kind of mysteries, like stuff like that. So I feel very content with the answers. I think the performances were good. It's structured really interesting and well. The jump scares are really scary. There's also some good laughs in here, which don't like undermine the horror. They're just kind of like, yep, this is just what's happening. This is just the story. So yeah, I think it's wonderfully structured. It's like cool. You're like creeped out, but you're having fun, but you're scared. It's kind of got everything over here on Weapons. Yeah, I had a great time. Andrew, did you like Weapons?
I think I liked it maybe slightly less than you, but I liked it a lot. I think that it's on the borderline of good and great for me. Okay. I have a couple criticisms. I would say that like this was never going to make it into a love for me. I might like horror a little bit more than you, but this isn't the type of horror that typically unlocks where I keep joy and love in my heart. The type of horror for me is usually like a science fiction based creature horror is normally what does it for me, an Alien of the Thing type of scenario. So this just isn't the subgenre of horror that kind of unlocks where love is in my heart. So that's not on the movie. That's on me. Going into this, I don't think this was ever going to get to a love for me. But it's very well made. I think it's good, borderline great. There's a couple things in here that I think are just kind of like, it's that third heat that's missing that kind of makes it. There's nothing in here that's bad or that fails, but there's just a little something. There's a little something that makes me go like, oh, that's good. And like there's a factor missing that brings it all together and elevates it to something special for me. But very well made. I would recommend anybody see it. I think it's good horror. I think it's well executed. It's got some great performances. I love its format and style. I'm vibing with it. I think it's very good.
I like everything you've just said, and I kind of agree similarly to like you're like it's not the kind of horror that unlocks love, because I'm not quite at a love either, but my reasons are different. And I consider a thing a love if it has rewatchability, and I just don't really rewatch things that were like a mystery when I already know the answer. You have to be a really great movie to be like, there's a twist or a mystery, and I still have it as a love and a rewatch. So like, I think this mystery was really good and it resolved really well, but it's not one of those ones where you watch it again and you're like, and now I look for all the stuff I missed the first time.
It doesn't recontextualize things.
Yes, it doesn't recontextualize. Yeah. Even though it was resolved very well, it wasn't like when you rewatch The Sixth Sense and you're like, oh my God, he was dead the whole time.
Sure.
Spoilers for The Sixth Sense.
We're fine.
We're fine. Andrew's decided we're fine.
I've decided we're fine.
So yeah, I think the lack of rewatchability is not there, which keeps me from a love, but this is a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And can it be spoiled?
Yep. We're walking around some stuff. Please don't spoil it. It's really fun not knowing what's going on. So I wouldn't read almost anything about this if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know anything about this. I'd only ever seen like a 5-second teaser. I know that there has been, and I actually haven't deep dived into it to be like, I'm just going to go in fresh or whatever, of people who are mad about how much trailers have or have not given away and this and that. So I went in very fresh. I think it can be spoiled a little, but in all honesty, I thought I was just more kind of like pleasantly surprised by the format and style of the movie more than any particular plot thing. I would actually say that like if any individual frame or shot of this movie was shown in the trailer, I would still have as good a time seeing it, if I had seen it prior. Yeah? Okay.
There's some stuff that I was just like, whoa, I've never seen anything like that. I would have hated if that was in the trailer.
Interesting. All right. Well, in that case, then we'll say it has spoilers. Go in as fresh as you can.
As fresh as you can.
Yeah. All right. And that's it. That's it. I don't know why, but I was like, and what about that third thing we always say?
I mean, maybe with MCU movies we do a little bit more than that.
No,
this is just a movie.
There's never a third thing, though.
And I'm trying to really help you out here and give you a little olive branch. You really did set something up that you were going to tee off.
Never happened. Let's talk now let's head into the spoiler-free filled section. I'm just fine. How are you?
Are you fine?
Let's talk more in the spoiler-filled section about weapons. All right, we are in the spoiler-filled section, and nothing is fucked. I speak words good.
He's a normal person who hasn't been weaponized.
I haven't.
He's not one of the weapons, you guys.
I'm not one of the weapons.
I've never seen him Naruto run.
You've never seen me Naruto run, and you never will.
Aw, come on. Show me a little Naruto run. It's how you avoid the bullets.
I keep it to myself. Yeah, it makes you go faster, don't you know?
I mean, it seems to.
Seems to a certain degree.
All the weapons went really fast.
Mm-hmm. So spoiler-filled section now. We're talking about this. This has been getting buzz, quite a bit of buzz as a film. It's been doing very well, and it's just something that kind of popped up on a lot of people's radar. And I only ever saw like a 5-second trailer. Like literally, I knew that like some kids ran with their arms out, and that was it.
I saw the same trailer as you. It makes sense because I was reading in the trivia that like the 5-second trailer like only played in front of Sinners or something, and we saw Sinners.
Yes, so we saw it then.
So we were fortunate enough to get just the quick 5-second trailer, and it really stuck with me. Like I was thinking about it for a while. So great little stinger. I haven't heard any of this controversy about the longer trailer giving away too much, so I can't really weigh in there.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is that they gave away, but some people don't seem happy with how much was given away. But I haven't looked too much into that controversy to speak on it, unfortunately. But I will say, even just like the pairing with Sinners, I think is a perfect pair. Like,
Good job.
They marketed with a bullseye laser focus to the exact people that they should have marketed to, which is the people who went to see Sinners in theaters.
Yeah, I mean, they always do this, though. Like, whenever we see a horror movie, which is rare, it's always, like, all horror movies in the trailers. And I'm like, oh, wow, not a single superhero. You guys really do... I know marketing exists and they're good at their jobs, but whenever I see, like, such clear, defined marketing, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess. I've never even heard of these movies before. They don't play before Fantastic Four.
Yeah. No, they do not. No, but they do play before Sinners.
Maybe play before Fantastic
Yeah, so a good movie that I was very pleased to have seen.
I was very happy to see. Yeah, this was very interesting to me. I mean, where should we start? Like structurally, the jumps, the scares.
Let's talk structurally. So for those who didn't see it, it's about this town. 17 kids just go missing at the same time in the middle of the night one night, and then it's all based around like what's going on in this town and how these people are dealing and reacting with it. And its format, and this is one of the things that I loved about it. And I'm kind of a sucker for this format. It's not necessarily like a number one thing that I always go for, but I'm always kind of charmed by it when it's around, is the individual character chapter title cards, where it's like the movie starts and it's like, it gives you a little bit of a narration kind of breaking down the premise of the film, which is, hey, a bunch of creepy kids running off into the night. One night, 17 kids disappeared without a trace and for no particular reason. Here is the story of that. And then title card, Justine. And then we get Justine's chapter. And then, different characters as the movie progresses. And I really am a sucker for this. I think it's something that's fun. It's charming. It adds multi-dimensional storytelling. It's a fun way to do an ensemble cast. It's just something that I really like in movies.
I also really like it, but I'm trying to psychoanalyze you, and I'm like, is it because you like assembling the team montages? Is it very similar to that? Of like, here's each team member for the mystery about the kids.
I like seeing how people interconnect, and I just kind of like a movie where everyone is the main story of their own lives. There is something so multifaceted and real in terms of the dimensionality that it adds to every character, where I'm like, there is no main character. And it makes it feel, even when it is elevated horror that involves the mystic, as this movie does, it makes it feel much more real and the stakes way more grounded, which allows you to get away with more elevated things, in my opinion, where it's like, no, it's the world. There's a bunch of people. And also I find it makes it far more palatable for characters to be unlikable than when there is a main character in a movie. When you get a movie that just has a singular POV and they're kind of a trash person, even when that is the point of the movie, it can get a little bit grating. But when it's like 5 to 7 characters and you're getting one of them each get their own chapter, then it's just these little slice of lives where it's just like, no, this doesn't need to be the hero or go on a hero's journey. This person can be kind of trashy. This person can be a distant and emotionally unavailable father. They can just kind of present their flaws a lot cleaner.
They're just part of the story.
Yes.
Yeah, these are just people in the town. They're fully fleshed out. They've existed in this town, and they have multiple points of view going on. Yeah, I think the structure is very interesting, very like Rashomon-y and slightly in its way. But it's also like, it's interesting because they kind of break your expectations very quickly. Because we open with Justine, and Justine is the teacher whose kids all disappeared. and she meets up with her ex-boyfriend. He's like, you're always paranoid and you think everything's about you. And I think that's such a funny thing to say to a character who doesn't end up being the lead character.
Right. Who is only the POV for this chapter.
Yeah, who almost disappears for, I think, the last, like, 2/3 of the movie because she's not in the last, like, 3 stories of the characters. So it does kind of shift your expectations in that weird way of, like, Justine's the main. She's going to be here the whole movie. She's paranoid that everything's about her. And she's like, no, everything is about me. I'm the main character. And the movie's like, she's not the main character.
She's not the...
It's genuinely an ensemble. So that's very cool and very interesting to me. I wouldn't mind if there was slightly more intercutting. I do like seeing, like, the different POV of, like, the same scene, like, not for, like, a long time, but of just, like, an interesting cut. Like, I think the most interesting part is, to me, is things like Justine meeting up with her ex-boyfriend, Alden Ehrenhardt. And it looks like, you know, she's going through all this stuff. She's like, all of her kids disappeared. You're like, well, she's going through a lot, not him. And then it cuts to the day he had. And you're like, he might be going through more stuff. He might have gotten HIV off a needle. He's considering drinking. He might get fired. So yeah, you're right about how the POVs really like help flesh characters out and make them feel not like such assholes. Or it can make them feel like bigger assholes because, you know, when I find out Justine got her ex-boyfriend to drink, and then in his POV, it's like he's been a recovering alcoholic. I'm like, that wasn't clear in the first storyline. You're kind of a jerk, Justine. But that doesn't really factor into anything. But yeah, the multiple POVs are very interesting. I think they might be not intercutting enough because I think around 2/3 of the way through, I was like, we actually have been away from Justine and Josh Brolin from too long, who did feel like the leads.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have minded if like some of the middle storylines were just a little bit shorter. Not that I actually think the movie's too long, which is a complaint we have a lot, but I think the two who I do actually think were the leads were gone for too long.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, like, when we go to Benedict Wong, it's, like, explaining how he got to her when he's running at her in the parking lot. But then we have the whole thing with the junkie and the cop, which doesn't intercut with Justine and Josh Brolin at all.
Yes.
It's just its own thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of too separate.
I agree. This is going to be one of my bigger complaints, or like I think one of the heats that's missing from this movie is that as much as I am a sucker for a multi-perspective storytelling of an ensemble cast where everyone is the lead of their own stories and seeing how they all kind of affect one another's lives, it's something that I always kind of enjoy and I gravitate towards. But I really think that the value of that is when they all interconnect into one final storyline. And I don't feel like they're all tied together. I do feel like the lesser version of telling multiple character storylines is when a story does it and the final character POV is the main story. It's just been withholding information, and I feel like Alex, the child whose aunt, who turns out to be a witch, comes to town and takes over his parents and is the one who, through some kind of magic and that type of thing, is the one who's taking all of his classmates. But like his POV, if you just watched that segment, it's all of the expositional value of the film. It's everything that is important for moving and propelling the plot forward. So everyone else's stories, as much as they're interesting character pieces and good performances, it's delaying the only valuable one, which is Alex. And I think that most elevated version of this type of thing is when all of them come together with one overarching POV at the end, or one moment where everything is interconnected. The relevancy of the red paint comes together with the alcoholism of the red paint of Archer comes together with the alcoholism of Justine, and everything kind of intermingles, but it doesn't intermingle really. It just kind of ends up being a final scene where it's like, yeah, there's a witch and the kid doesn't want that. And that's just kind of it.
Yeah, it doesn't intermingle in like the most interesting way. It really only intermingles in that all the characters end up in the same spot and half of them are weaponized and half of them aren't. So it ends up in a showdown. So we're like, we know how everyone got here. We know how the drug addict and the cop got here because their storyline was separate. So like we need them to actually fight off Justine and Archer. So we know how they all got here, but you're right. It's not anything interesting. It's not like, and one of them brought a water bottle because she was trying to dehydrate and the sticks got dropped into it. And when you drop a stick into water, it breaks a spell. There's nothing cohesive about any of the clues we've given about the character arcs. You're right. It doesn't matter if there was red paint. It doesn't matter that there's been alcoholism. None of these things are relevant. I would say what's most annoying that isn't relevant is I really loved Josh Brolin's investigation that he was doing.
Oh, I also love that.
Oh, and I was so sad that it was so short and that it wasn't more relevant. Like, it was like, oh, she just went to Alex's house again. She'd been going to Alex's house. The cops were already there. The other guy went to Alex's house. So I really wanted him to learn a lot more from his investigation. But yeah, him like doing the lines and trying to figure out exactly where they're running and if it's a straight line, and he had his weird dream. I really wanted more of Josh's investigation going on. That was like really fun for me. And the fact that it was not really relevant was a little sad.
I think it might have been the most relevant of anyone's plot line, because it is the thing that directly drives these main characters to
go
the
back
final
to the
house,
house.
right? Where it's like when you look at Alden Ehrenreich's character, Paul, and it's like, yeah, they kind of end up at the house, but they're just weaponized and they kind of become moot. And Jimmy kind of becomes moot. Like, the characters who become weaponized are kind of moot. And then even like the teacher, it's just kind of like, oh, well, Justine is kind of carried into Archer's storyline. So I think his was the most relevant. But it was Alex, the child, who is the primary expositional driven storyline.
I mean, I think that works though in like a mystery horror. I think if it was like not a mystery movie, I'd be like, well, that was dumb. It was all just withheld from us. But I think it works here for the most part.
Yeah.
It could be more interesting, but it works structurally.
And there is some stuff where like I find myself frankly flip-flopping on it. And this might be, I don't know if this is a strength or a weakness of the movie, that I'm in conversation with myself or that it's unclear and uncertain, but I like that we're having the dialogue. But a few of the things that I'm kind of flip-flopping on are stuff that doesn't pay off. And I'm like, is that a mislead? Do I like that it doesn't pay off? Do I like that it doesn't go into the obvious and that it goes to kind of an indirect place? Do I like the fact that when the principal attacks Justine at the gas station, he gets covered in gas and that doesn't get set on fire? And I'm like, that is very much a Chekhov's gun. But is that good or bad writing in this scenario? Is that mislead meant to kind of build up to the comedic, the principal gets hit by the car? Like, does that actually really work for me? Does things like the red paint in the back of the truck and him passing out, it heavily implies that Archer painted Witch on the side of her car. Why would he paint Witch if he thinks that she's someone who kidnapped children? There's been no kind of mysticism or sorcery involved thus far. So there's a lot of like unsatisfying ends that I'm not sure if it's meant to kind of make me go along and be confused, and if so, I like it. And then there are moments where I'm like, no, I think you missed it, and then I dislike it, and then I'm like, no, I think maybe I'm meant to be thinking about it. Now I like it again, so I'm really flip-flopping.
I get that, because the movie's so good that every time something is laid in and doesn't have payoff, it does feel like it was purposeful. Like, it doesn't feel like this is a movie full of errors. It was like, there was reasons for all of this. Because I will say, here's a small thing that was like, blew me away for like tiny details. When Justine goes home in her POV, she sees these two people walking down the street, and she's like, because she's freaked out, someone's going to attack her. And then when it gets to Archer's POV and he's been following her, those same two people are there, and they're in like 3 different shots. They did such a good continuity job of like, these are the same 30 seconds, and it's the same 2 people, but like Josh Brolin had to be there that day versus the day Julia Garner filmed.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, they really nailed that, because the 2 people weren't load bearing. Then it made me think like, are those 2 people load bearing?
What's
are they
gonna
like,
happen there?
did they take the kids?
Yeah.
Or are they just going to be mad parents who are going to attack her? Like, who knocked on the door even? Who knocked on the door? Mm-hmm. It wasn't Gladys the Witch.
No, I mean, was that Archer?
Right.
Drunkenly, because he was in his truck outside of her place that night.
But he wasn't drinking, was he?
Was he not drinking?
No, that was Pete and Julie. And
he was just
Justine.
angrily,
he was just
kind
mad.
of mad and around, and he had red paint, so maybe he was doing that? Yeah.
It feels very child.
Yeah, it does feel very child. It doesn't feel like very, like, big, angry Josh Brolin kind of playing a contractor bully.
Everything we've seen in this movie from Josh Brolin is he was a man who would just knock on your door and walk into your home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
interesting.
Who knocked on the door? We don't know.
Interesting. But is that messy or is that intentional?
Or is it just cool?
Is this is this conversation we're having directorial intent? Is this what Zach Kreger meant for people to be kind of confused by? Or is it missed opportunity? And that's the flip-flop.
Maybe there is rewatchability in this movie, and I was wrong before.
Maybe.
Now I have questions. But they're not questions that I'm like, I think I missed.
I don't think a rewatching is going to answer
anything.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Cool stuff. Just because I have to talk about it. The silent scene where the mom walks out the door with the scissors, like a puppet.
Yeah, a marionette.
A marionette, thank you. Not mannequin. I was going to say American. Honestly, one of the coolest, creepiest things I've ever seen in my life.
That really got you.
That fucked me up so bad. I felt like I was watching a woman who had been like Joker gassed. Or like it felt like very like Batman Joker-esque, like Batman 1989, like someone who had just been like Joker gassed and had a big smile and a big pair of scissors. And it was so freaky. I loved it. This was my favorite scare in a movie I've ever seen. I loved how quiet it was. I loved how long it took. I love how far away the camera was and just this silhouette of this insane thing happening. But like, you know that our POV character is helpless in the car because she's passed out. It was wildly upsetting to me. I loved this sequence.
How long the door stays open before she goes through it as well. Yes, absolutely. And kudos to, I don't have that performer's name.
The mom's really far down the IMDb.
Yeah, because for the most part, it's lesser screen time. I will say that, but a good traditional performance and just a really good physical embodiment. Like to even make your body do that for that amount of movement.
For like one long take.
It's really fucking good. It's really creepy.
It's really creepy.
The small detail in that scene that really creeped me out, and there was something about it where I was like, you never see this in movies, and it's usually because it's a soundstage or something like that. It's the creepy walk. She leaves the house, creepy walk over like fucking this weird marionette crab walk over to the car. Is by the window and like that unknowing of like, what are you about to do? And also didn't even know it was scissors. Like, what weapon is in your hand?
Yeah, I thought it was a knife. But
yeah, and it's like, what weapon's in your hand? What are you about to do? Leaving frame, going around the car, hearing the door open, and the suspension of the car shaking as she sat in the car but out of frame was quite upsetting to me. And I was like, I don't think I've seen that in a movie before, that implied movement. And like having the terror just out of frame is something that horror does a lot. And it's something that it works and it always gets most people and it gets me. But implying the horror out of frame by seeing the woman in the driver's seat rock a little bit as the suspension of the car is hit while someone sits in the unseen back seat. I was like, ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, I don't like everything that the movement of this vehicle implies, and knowing that they didn't even lean across, that they sat.
Yeah, there's something about like environmental horror, like just like like I would say like like the puddles rippling in Jurassic Park. There's horror that's nearby, but you can't see it.
To quote Dennis Reynolds, the implication.
The implication of
is what's
horror.
Scary.
It's always scary. Yeah, implication is always scarier. But yeah, you're right. This like, what is this person doing? And her being completely passed out. Because normally when there's a scary thing out of frame, the main character's freaking out about it, or like looking for it, or trying to spot it.
Yeah.
And this movie, just having her being completely helpless was like extra terrifying. The sequence was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also want to give kudos to just like every sequence that was kind of being jump scared by either Gladys as a weird clown or as someone who'd been weaponized and was just kind of standing there, because I think this like did a really good job of the darkness levels, because it was quite dark sometimes, and maybe sometimes like 5% too dark. But I did like the darkness levels of scary scenes, because it would be so dark that I'd like have to lean forward a little and squint. So then when the jump scare came, it really got me, because I'm like, oh, I was so close and focused on it. And she's a white clown and her face is so bright.
Yeah.
So the jump scare really like was so bright and would really get you so hard once it hit there, because you'd been so like leaned forward, like, oh, it's awful dark. I gotta work really hard to see what's happening.
And even just kind of like...
But not like annoying dark, like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not Game of Thrones dark.
Yeah, real dark, yeah. But even playing with it, like the dream sequence where Josh Brolin's character Archer is dreaming, and he goes to his son who has been missing, but in his dream is his son Matthew is in his bed. And there's a little bit of light on Matthew's eyes. And you can see Matthew, and the rest of the frame is the darkness. And I'm kind of scanning the darkness of the frame to be like, when is something going to happen there? But they actually transition to the creepy witch in the bright portion of the frame and with a wipe of light. And there's just little misdirects or like using the genre and your preconceptions that this movie does a few times where I'm like, fuck, you got me.
Yeah, you
fuck.
bitch.
Where like I'm watching it and I'm like, I'm a savvy. I know where the thing is. Fuck you, bitch. Yeah, like you get me a couple of times here.
Yeah. But you do learn to like as the movie goes on. By the end when they're doing jump scares like that, I was like tense and I was like, you're not gonna get me again, movie. And then they were pretty much done with them anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you get it. It's a clown jump scare.
Yeah, it's a clown witch. It's just a witch who doesn't know how to do makeup well.
But like sometimes she's a full clown though. Like what's up with that?
Yeah, sometimes she is a full clown.
Sometimes she just looks like an old lady whose makeup is too much. But then like other times she's full. Like, do you think she like? Is there like a weird backstory? Like, do you think she used to be a clown? Do you think is she framing it? And she's like, it wasn't a witch. It was a clown in the sewer.
Okay, so that's funny. That's funny. She's been just framing Pennywise.
Yeah, she's leaving clues about other serial killers or werewolf hair.
I like that. Let's talk about the witch then for a second.
All right, we're on the witch.
So I like the implication that she's like hundreds of years old.
That seems fair.
That she is not even this woman's sister. Like she is not the aunt.
There's no way
she is like done some kind of a spell to make this woman think that they're related or something.
That makes a kind of sense.
Yeah, because even like the husband's like, I don't know who this woman is. She wasn't at our wedding. She's never been in our life.
Well, at one point though, they say they did see her 15 years ago. So I'm wondering if she's the kind of person who like leaves for decades and is like, no, remember me? But hasn't aged, but then pretends to be like her own mom or something.
Oh, okay, maybe
How,
something like that.
Immortals do that in movies a lot.
Yeah, I'm my own kid.
I'm my own kid. Yeah, you haven't seen me in 15 years.
Yeah. It could be that too.
Because an aunt would be older than her. Never mind. Because they kept calling her. Because it's his mom's aunt. It's not Alex's aunt.
No, it is Alex's aunt.
Oh, well, why would she be this old and great?
This is why I'm saying I think she cast some kind of a spell on this woman to make her think that they're sisters.
Well, then she didn't do a good job of... Actually, the woman wanted to take care of her.
Or I think the other thing, too, is that the implication is that this woman may be hundreds plus years old, thousands, whatever the fuck a witch could be, did look... Alex's mother's age at some point and was pretending to be her sister, but the black magic now is killing her and her hair is falling out and she's coming in pretending to be like, oh, I'm sick and I need your help, when really she's rapidly aging because the black magic is the blood magic is taking her.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So maybe at some point she did look younger.
That makes a lot of sense because she's clearly younging up as she's taking the life out of everyone. Her hair is getting thicker, her skin's getting nicer. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so but she can't take people fast enough or enough people. She can't undo what this magic has done.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get too dark magicked.
Yeah. But when she's talking to the principal as well, even stuff like the consumption is what she references as like the current thing that's going around, and the principal's like, I don't rightfully know what that is. Is that
Pilgrims had that?
Is that tuberculosis? And he makes an Oregon Trail reference. And I'm like, okay, so there are heavy implications here that you are a very old creature.
But even if maybe creature makes a lot of sense. Because I'm like, even if you're very old, I don't know why you'd be so bad at makeup. I think being old would make you better at makeup. I've gotten better at doing makeup the older I've gotten. So I don't know why she's so clown-like and inarticulate and has such a terrible wig. Because that's the thing. That's not her hair. She went out and she was like, what's the worst wig you have? It's got to be bright orange. It's got to be curled in the bottom. Terrible bangs. What do you got for me, wig shop?
That was the best wig in 18 Dickety 2 or whenever the last time she lived in a town.
Shopping?
I think that she is living in like a Babadook like chicken shack in the village in the forest, in the dark forest, that she just has like an old wig from the last time she visited town.
No way at any point before 1980 did a wig have bangs like that.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's
also
new
true.
bang. It's oddly recent bangs.
Now maybe the blood magic that is consuming her consumes any wig she puts on her head.
Oh, it's consuming the wig. Not
You know
your
what I
fashion
mean?
sense.
No, not your fashion sense.
Oh, not the fashion sense?
No,
The
no,
wig itself.
it changes the perception and eats away at the clothing.
Okay. She's sucking the life out of the wigs.
Out of the clothing.
Actually, if it was human hair,
Oh,
she could
there we
suck
go.
the life
there we
out
go.
of it, perhaps.
See, now-
being a human living thing.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Now we're putting the pieces together.
And sometimes she's more clown-like, but I'm not sure if those times are reality as well. Because like the weirdest one for me, that's the iffy one. And again, this is another one where I'm like, should I think more about this, or are you fucking with me and wasting my time to even think about it?
Are you wasting my time?
Are you wasting my time? Are you fucking with me? Because she does appear to Justine and Archer in their dreams in the first act of the movie. Then a couple stories later, I think we get Paul's, and then there's Jimmy's. And Jimmy sees her like pop up in the forest in clown makeup.
And he's not asleep.
And he's not asleep.
He's freaked out because he was just in the house, but he's not asleep.
But he has done drugs. Like, does she have some ability to affect the mind of those sleeping or on drugs? Or was she actually just wearing shitty makeup and in the woods?
And he was hallucinating a little.
And he was hallucinating a little, but she was there. And maybe that amped it up some. But yeah, ones where I'm like, well, what the fuck was that?
Well, because also in Justine's dream, Alex, the kid, looks like a clown. He has one point where he wakes up in the classroom and he's got clown makeup on.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
There's real clown happening here, but only in dreams. Maybe she dreams of being a clown someday, Gladys the witch.
She dreams
Gladys
of being
the witch
a
is like, I
clown.
just want to be in the circus.
Or that's like... is there a thing that like clowns used to be the ones who operated marionettes in old shows or something?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that implication.
Because that leads me to another thing I want to talk about as well, which is the title of the film, and not in the usual bullshitty way we talk about titles of the film.
Weapons 4, Colin. This one's
the re-weaponing, but it's called Weapons, and I get it. These people have been weaponized, which Josh Brolin's character even says at some point. So it's a play. They've been weaponized, and they're weapons. But for the most part, I think the more important theme and visual iconography of this movie is puppeteering, marionetting, and loss of control. Like the marionette, the puppet master, these are the type of things that I think are more appropriate titles for this movie. I don't think it's even that relevant that they're all weapons. They're also like not even meant to be weapons. This witch isn't trying to amass an army. She's trying to suck the life force from people to get young again. And if someone stops her, she happens to have these people attack. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't think weapons is the most important takeaway from this movie.
I'm going to pull a real you right now.
Oh, yes.
And flip-flop on this, even as I discuss it. Because I also, like, when I saw the title Weapons and, like, we see the trailer and we know what it's about, I'm like, where are the weapons at? What are you talking about? Weapons? What will they be, the weapons? And you're right. It's just people can get weaponized because they're being mind controlled. But at the same time, so if you called it like marionettes or puppetry or puppet master, that exists, but something similar, it would make more sense. But then at the same time, I'm like, this gives away nothing about what's happening in the movie.
Yeah.
The title Weapons. And
That's
I do like the mystery happening here. I like not knowing at all what's going on.
What are the weapons? Yeah.
So the whole time I was sitting there, I'm like, what are the weapons? How will this relate to anything? And it reveals nothing about what's going on. So I like it. But it does.
I do kind of like it.
But as someone who used to work at a movie store, it's very weird. Because like, it's kind of movie where if you'd never seen it, you'd be like, I guess the action section? I'm gonna put weapons in the action section of the, like, it's gonna get misclassified on Netflix at some point. It's gonna be in the wrong spot.
Here's a silly little anecdote. When last week, me and some friends went to go see Naked Gun. And we
Can't wait for this.
We were standing outside the theater, and we were waiting for one more, and we're waiting to go in to see Naked Gun. And we ran into a random friend at the movie theater.
Okay.
And we were like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? What are you seeing?" And he went, "Oh, I'm seeing the weapon one." And I went, "Oh, Naked Gun." And he went, "No, the weapon one." And I went, "Yeah, it's a gun." And we unintentionally did a who's on first. I'm here to see the weapon one. Yeah, us too. The gun.
It is a weapon.
It is a weapon.
I feel like that is such a Naked Gun appropriate conversation that you had right before seeing Naked Gun.
Yeah. Well, and also before Naked Gun, me and my friends were talking about other old slapstick ones, and we brought up Loaded Weapon. And it was like, yeah, sometimes in my head I mix up Loaded Weapon and Naked Gun, and a friend walks up and is like, "I'm here to see the Weapon movie." We're like, "No, actually, we get those mixed up too. You're here to see Naked Gun."
You're here
to see Naked Gun.
You're really gaslighting your friend here, man.
Yeah.
You're the problem.
I think, if anything, the only thing that stopped it is he was like, "I saw it last week. It's very funny." And I was like, "Oh, all right. There's a movie called Weapons."
That will be in the action section at some point.
Yeah.
Since we're on guns,
yes.
Why? Okay, you two? Why did Josh Brolin see a giant gun clock in his dream? I get why the clock was there.
Yes.
But the clock was in a gun, and there was no other imagery in his dream. His dream was just his son running into his own house, and then he talked to his son in his bed. But there was also a giant AK-47, a very big gun.
Yeah, like an AR-15, an assault rifle.
Not a handgun, and a handgun gets used at the end of this movie. So not a handgun, an assault rifle is above the house. It's got a clock in it. It's a gun clock. It's a Glock. We wrote a text about this.
Yeah.
Hawkeye invented it. But what's that all about, Josh Brolin? Is that just a you thing? Is that what you dream about? Is that what his character is like? I love guns. It's still my dream.
Even if we took it on its face value, because there is a poster, because Josh Brolin has been sleeping in his missing son's room.
Yes.
And he's under like Batman sheets, and it's a teenage boy or a young teenage boy's room. There is, I think, a poster on the wall with a gun on it.
There is.
And it kind of syncs up with that, but that's the only thing from the room that seeps into the dream, and it's the only thing from reality that seeps into anyone's dream. So it's like, even if it is, and I think in reality that can happen, a poster on the wall or something in your room that you're thinking about before you fall asleep makes it into a dream. And even if, and it can be meaningless, but even if that is the case for this character, this is still something you showed us in the movie.
This is something you chose to write down. You're like, one symbolism, please. It's a gun above the house because the child's a weapon now, but he's not. The children aren't weapons. She's not using them for weapons.
Yeah.
They're food. If
Yeah.
anything, they're the soup.
They're soup. Yeah, yeah.
They're her soup.
So what does the gun clock mean, Zach Kreger?
Zach Kreger, this is literally like everything else. We were like, oh, maybe this was intentional. This wasn't. This one, I'm like, this is fucking dumb. Why was there a giant gun? Because it was actually like really coolly done. The way it like faded in and out and how like long it took to come into focus. It was really well done.
Visually, it ruled.
And the way it like kind of Thanos snapped away and he's Thanos. It's all coming together.
But what does it all mean, Basil?
What does it all mean, Basil? And I know dreams don't mean anything, but they do when a witch is making you dream about stuff.
They do when a director told a visual effects department that it's important that a gun in the sky is a clock. What does that mean?
This is like weird, like NRA lobbying happening here. We'll give you $8 million more to make your movie if there's a big gun in it.
Yeah.
This feels like a very American thing that just happened.
Or you know, anti-gun lobby. Like when that came up in the sky, it's still pretty early on in the movie, and I'm like, is the missing children in the school supposed to represent the absence of children lost in school shootings?
Oh, that would have rolled.
And I'm like, is there some? And for a while, my brain's doing gymnastics to be like, is this supposed to be some kind of a representation or a treatise on guilt, on loss?
I mean, that would actually be interesting if it was like a Sixth Sense kind of movie and these kids had all been killed in a school shooting and we were all just hallucinating, like a mass hallucination or something.
Yeah.
But that's not what was going on. That's not what was going on.
So what is everything else in the movie? I'm like, discuss it, don't discuss it, feel like you know it, don't feel like you know it. I need to see an interview with Zach Kreger where he just looks down the barrel of the camera during an interview and goes, here's what the gun clock means. And he just fucking tells us. I just need to know what the gun clock represents.
I wonder what his he's having a big moment. I'm like, we have a lot of like Blue Sky followers. We might be big enough to be able to tweet at him, but answer our questions.
What does the gun clock mean?
We're going to bully you. What does the gun clock mean?
I think I can even post this on Blue Sky without spoilers.
Ooh.
If I just posted, hey, those of you who've seen Weapons, what does the gun clock mean? I don't think that spoils anything about this movie because it's too conceptual a sentence.
Well, because it doesn't
make sense.
Stuff that happens.
It doesn't make sense.
It's not a gun movie.
Yeah.
It is a weapon.
It is a weapon.
But it's not what the movie's about. But the title's a mislead on purpose, as we discussed.
I don't know what the gun clock means.
I have to get into a genuine negative that I didn't like. There are 5 people who die in this movie.
Okay.
And 4 are normal people. 5th one's the witch. We're in the spoiler-filled section. You can say that.
Sure.
The 4 regular people die in this movie.
4 humans.
4 humans. 2 of the people that die are 100% of the gay people. That sucks.
Not great.
It's not great.
Not great.
I just need to say they also his Benedict Wong's husband / boyfriend also gets the most violent death in the movie.
They get the most horrific.
And it's cool, but it's also like that's 100% of the gay people you put in this movie, and you killed them both after their cute little introductory scene. That's not how you want to do this.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I agree. And the most likable characters and the most violent deaths,
they were so helpful and kind and just nice people.
They were the only, kind of truly non-flawed characters in this. Not that characters need to be perfect for them to be likable in a movie, but everyone else is kind of a mess and making mistakes and not doing great. And then these are just some kind, helpful, lovely people.
Yeah, who just get the most brutal death. Like, great performances. I really liked them. They were Benedict Wong was just performance-wise when he's a marionette and when he's not. Oh my God, he's so scary when he's running at Justine to kill her.
Jeez.
The huge eyes he did?
Yeah.
I mean, and I know some of it was they puffed up his face because he was had just killed his husband.
And
but
the makeup and blood that they put on, the makeup and visual effects.
You still have to hold your
great.
face open so much to get your eyes that big and just dead faced as he ran with his arms down. Wildly upsetting. Super cool. Benedict Wong rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't. It's 2025. Don't kill all your gays.
Don't kill all your gays.
Preferably none, but not all.
Yeah, especially when it feels like it was only introduced to kill your gays.
Yeah, because this isn't a movie with a high body count. If this was a movie where 12 people died.
Yeah.
4 people die in this movie.
Yeah, and it's who's everyone else dating? And they don't really go into that, but they do really make an effort to show you.
Justine. June Diane Raphael gets away alive.
Yeah, good for her.
Because she got out.
Good for her. A nice little hit of June Diane Raphael.
I do like June Diane.
I like her a lot. I wish I love to see her and stuff. I think she's great. Yeah, she's fun on How Did This Get Made? She was fun on New Girl. I like seeing her pop up and stuff.
She really did pop up on New Girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think she was also in Black Monday, and I really liked her there. I like June Diane Raphael.
We like her.
Yeah. But not great. Not great. However, the writing aside of that, I will say wall to wall, every performance in this movie is great. Everyone owns their character. They add a lot of depth. Julia Garner is phenomenal as Justine, as just playing this kind of chaotic mess. It feels like Misty from Yellow Jackets without the competency porn. if Misty from Yellow Jackets didn't get away with actual murders and hostage situations, it's that level of it's frantic, it's chaotic, it's a little bit bipolar, and it's all over the place, but it's also real at the same time.
It's so motivated. I mean, 17 of her kids disappeared and she wasn't part of it. So it's grounded and it's a little over the top at the same time. I think she's very good at this.
And I I think it's the right level of over the top with the way that they kind of reveal her character. And I think the way that Julia Garner plays it as well, with a lot of depth of like, this is a woman who had boundary and alcohol problems prior to this incident. And I think that there's a lot of craziness to be played here to be like, what happens when someone with boundary issues and alcoholism is now put into an unexplainable moment of magic. And it's like, yeah, they don't handle it well. They don't handle it well.
She could have handled it worse.
She could have handled it worse. I'd say of all of the horror of like, it's a dream and now there's a clown on the ceiling, of all the jump scares in this movie, the one moment that actually scared me the most where I out loud went, Jesus, was when it was her talking to the principal and he was like, you've had boundary issues before. This kid just had all of their classmates move. You wanting to talk to them is selfish. Leave them alone. And it cuts to her following the kid home, and I just went, oh, like that actually was the one for me where I was like, too far, like it was too much. That was worse than a clown on the ceiling for me to be like, oh no, it makes sense why your character is like this, and I don't.
Yeah, it was very much you're like, oh, you're watching a woman ruin her life. No, you're gonna go to jail. The police are definitely watching this kid and you. They weren't, which is crazy. Yeah, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I will say that was probably, this is like a nitpick for me about the movie as well, is just like the fact that police-wise, this doesn't make any sense that any of this worked.
Yes.
17 children go missing. The FBI are involved. This would be hugely national news. There's no way that like the cops were just like, oh, Aunt Gladys, you moved in 2 days ago. The children disappeared.
We have no paperwork on Aunt Gladys.
We have no paperwork on Aunt Gladys. Apparently the father had a stroke. We don't have any medical records that support the stroke. He's also got knife wounds in his face, but you put a little makeup in there.
And the mother is absent.
Where the fuck is the mother?
Yeah.
And the kids just like hide in the backyard when the cops come, I guess. And there's no ring footage of like the kids ever together, even though they all ran into the house together on a busy street. Mm-hmm. So like there's like just little but real things where like if you're gonna say the cops aren't involved in it and the cops are genuinely looking for these 17 kids, this woman needed to do more than this. Yeah, they would have been like, Aunt Gladys, because there's two suspects. There's the kid and the teacher.
Yeah.
And you would have so many people on both of these people at all times. So many cops watching, so much investigating.
Yeah. There would be eyes on this house.
There'd be eyes on her house and his house. The second she pulled up to Alex's house, there would have been a cop there like, get the fuck back. You can't be here.
It did feel like...
You can't take this kid, too.
It felt like a movie that wanted to be set in the 80s, but then also wanted to use ring cams.
Yes. It did have other than ring cams, I actually thought this was set in the 80s, because, like, there's never cell phones. There's never, like, really anything modern. There's never, like, news footage or people watching videos on their phones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has a real 80s vibes except for ring cam footage. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But they really wanted the videos of the kids running Naruto style.
Which I think you can still do in an era without smart doorbells of like some people had security cameras. You could have had a convenience store across the street from like you really only needed 2 pieces of footage for Josh Brolin's character to piece this together. So it could have been like a convenience store across from 2 of the houses or something with a small CCTV camera.
Yeah, someone who like has a house that's been broken into a few times. So they like pimped out for a security or something.
Yeah. So a little bit weird in that regard. I do agree that the police would have been doing much more.
Much more. Yeah, because like, and Gladys is so weird. They wouldn't be like, well, she's fine and checks out. They'd be like, she didn't. She's got those kids somewhere.
Yes. And I know that there are many levels and styles of police incompetence, but this feels like a very dated style of police incompetence where they show up and they're like, I don't want to look into it, though. And I'm like, but 17 kids went missing. This is national news. This is national news, actually.
If you're telling me in the same movie that Pete will be fired for punching a guy who like almost gave him HIV accidentally on a needle, in the same universe, they don't have a million police officers looking for these kids.
Yeah.
That's those aren't the same police forces.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But so that I just didn't like. But that was the most not unresolved, but disappointing part of the reveal of what had been happening, of like how she fooled the cops. She's like, we just cleaned the house and said your dad had a stroke. And I'm like, well, you didn't put a spell on the cops? They're just dumb?
Yeah. And what is the size of this town was one of the questions that led me to as well. To be like, is this a small town or a large town? Because if it's a large town...
Everyone would have heard about Alex's dad's stroke.
Yeah, if it's a small town.
If
it's a small town, everyone's heard about the stroke. And if it's a large town, there's much more national coverage and police force stuff involved. Yeah. So...
I think no matter what size the town, 17 kids in America go missing at once. That's...
I mean, unless, like I said, that's why part of me was doing mental backflips to be like, is this about school shootings? To be like that the national coverage just kind of moves on so quickly that we don't look for it, that there are this many kids on a weekly basis, and then a month later it's on to a new crisis, and we don't actually focus on the lives lost. Like, is there something here about that? But I don't know, maybe sometimes a gun in the sky is just a gun in the sky. You know what I mean?
If we're going to take any lessons away from weapons,
sometimes
it's going to be that sometimes a gun is just not real.
Not real?
Not relevant.
I think my last criticism is that I really liked it at the beginning and didn't like it at the end. Who is this narrator? In the beginning, I'm like, the narrator, I'm like, this kid's doing a great job. It's smooth. It's moody. It's conveying all the necessary information. The writing is good. The performance good. I'm like, ooh, mysterious narrator. And then they go away, and then they come back at the end, and I'm like, who are you? Are you a classmate? Are you a survivor? Are you someone from another town who's heard the story about the mysterious town? Because you also kind of knew weird omnipresent things to be like the police covered it up, and I'm like, but you're a child's voice. How do you know about the police cover up to hide their incompetence?
I thought she said she currently lives in the town.
Oh, okay.
I thought she said like years ago in the town I live in, but I could be not sure about that.
Yeah, so that's one.
I think she's a current child, and this is just like the story they tell at school. But
get someone important to do the narration.
Well, yeah, because I agree. It's creepy in the beginning. Like, oh, it's a child's voice. Will this child be one of the children who's been taken? Or is this kind of just like someone we're going to meet later? Or is it going to be someone's kids of whoever we're going to meet in the future? And then it's just like, oh, you're just a kid.
Just any kid.
Did you make the gun?
Did you?
Hey, kid.
Are you the sky gun?
Are you
the... Is that what it represents?
Did you get school shooting?
Is that what it is?
A lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
I mean, by a lot, I mean just that one.
Well, I'm feeling good. You feeling good?
I'm feeling pretty good about weapons.
All right. Well, let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question of what would you change? So now that we have discussed everything we have discussed, what would you change about this if you could change anything? Before we do ask that final question, we will remind you, as we do every week, to please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, wherever you get your podcasts. It helps us move up the charts. It helps us find new listeners. And it's just a real nice thing to do.
It's just swell if you leave us a review. We'll read it. Other people will read it, and they'll be like, what a good writer this person is. They've left such nice words about Talk from Superheroes. I will also listen. And we like that.
And shout out to the people from last week who sent us ridiculous vehicles that humans have invented. We
Some
appreciate
real good
that.
ones.
Yeah. We got we were sent the amphibious tour buses that'll take people in and out of water. Those are penny farthing as well. Penny farthing, I think, is a classic. That's a
Oscar Wienermobile lately.
Ooh,
a late entry.
A late
was
entry
the
with Oscar Wienermobile.
Real good. We're all trying to find the person responsible for this.
Yeah. So that is a good one.
Comedy gold.
So we appreciate and love all of your interactions. Interact with us. Throw out something on social media. Send us a message. Leave a review. It helps us find new listeners, and it's very nice. And as well, if you do want to support the podcast monetarily, you can do that over on our Patreon page, which is a monthly subscription service. You can subscribe at whatever is in your budget. Get cool bonuses for doing so. You can get our webcomic early. You can get these episodes early and ad-free, which is extra fun when we cover new things that are still in theaters. Yes, go see Weapons in theaters. I will say that. I meant to mention that earlier when you talked about like the darkness of it. I'm glad this was in theaters because horror movies in particular that go right to streaming, the black levels and the contrast levels, they just don't go over the bit rate properly of streaming services. And the compression or algorithm or whatever the fuck it is, it fucks it all up. And it doesn't look good when there's things like that like pop in and out of the darkness.
Oh shit, I thought you were going to say because like the whole theater's holding their breath and we all jump at once and it just feels nice.
That's fun too.
It's also fun.
But then
That's
also just from
part of it.
a functional seeing it level, it's way better to see it in theaters than on a streaming service.
Two good reasons to go in theaters.
So if you become one of our $3 patrons, you can get these episodes early and ad free. No, if you want to go see it in theaters. At the $10 level, you get an exclusive episode of this podcast every single month. This month we covered the Disney Plus series Eyes of Wakanda that is available right now. And as well, if there's any particular Patreon bonus episode that you want, and you just want that one episode, you can buy individual episodes for $5 as well. So you can sign up, you can do monthly, you can do yearly, you can check out individual episodes. There's lots of bonus content, lots of options.
You can do almost anything over on patreon.com. They'll let you have the run of the place.
They'll give you the keys.
All you need is a login.
All you need is a login at patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. That is patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. And now, let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question. Now that we have discussed everything we have discussed, what would you change about this if you could change anything? Diana.
My change is very similar to what I talked about earlier, which is it does feel when we start watching this movie, because they're introduced first, that Justine and Archer, Josh Brolin and Julia Garner are the leads. And they disappear for a large chunk of the movie in a way that isn't satisfying. Like, it's fine that they're gone during Marcus's chapter because his chapter ends with them. He goes and attacks Justine. So it's like, it's all going together. But then I think it's James and Pete, the cop and the drug addict, don't interact with them at all, and neither does Alex on his backstory for the most part, except for one scene with Justine. So I do think these sections need to be shorter. My change is going to be that James and Pete have just one section together. They actually don't get separate sections. Just not even because I think the movie's too long, just because I think the main characters need to get back in the story sooner. So I think we can cut a lot of their stuff. I know we just said this, I'm just going to cut June Diane Raphael. Because Rayfield. Because as much as I like her, like, we don't need this scene where she comes home and dumps him and is mad. It's like, it's just kind of stuff we don't need around Pete. Like, Pete, we need to know he's going to go with James to the house and find the kids. It's really all we need to get to. So there's just a little extra stuff with both these characters that we don't really need. And you're, like you said, like, is it laid there to mislead you, or is it just too much stuff that we don't need? And in this case especially, I think these two have too much stuff we don't need. Even Alex could be a little shorter, his backstory with Aunt Gladys. So yeah, I just really need Justine and Josh Brolin to get back in there sooner, and I really want more investigation from Josh Brolin. I want more of his like figuring it out. That was really interesting to me. I love people putting the pieces together, and I'm like, he's only got like 2 pieces. What do you mean we're done? There's 2 lines on his map. That's not enough lines on your map. We all agree, but we have a gun and a dream, so that's fine, I guess. So yeah, it's really just like shorten it up just to get them back in, and some more investigation on Josh Brolin's part.
I did like, even though he only had 2 directions and it reached a point on the map, when he synced up with Justine and she was like, Alex lives here. It wasn't at the center of the X.
It wasn't at the center of the X.
It was close-ish, and I'm like, yeah, because you'd have to zigzag between houses and stuff. You can't actually do it as the crow flies in a perfectly straight line.
There might be a fence there.
Yeah, but if he had more points of data, it might start zeroing in on that location. So I actually kind of liked the little detail of that, to be like, he was close, but needed someone's help or more points of data in order to put it together.
I also liked the area of error that he gave himself with the big circle around where the intersection was. Yeah, that good detective work.
Yeah.
Not too honed in on one spot. Andrew, what would you change?
I like where your head's at. I agree that his detective work is great. I like that getting them all kind of involved a little bit quicker or tighter in different ways. I think I have 2 options. One would be I want this all the storylines to be connected a little bit stronger. And one that actually fixes one of our problems earlier to be like, we really didn't have enough footage or the police weren't paying attention to this or that. One thing that I would really like is if Paul, the cop played by Alden Ehrenreich, later in the movie, he goes to the house of Alex and gets weaponized by this woman. I want that to have happened the night that the kids went missing. So if we time shift his story back a little bit, where he was doing a shakedown on this guy James, he gets poked with a needle, he lets this guy go with a warning, then he sees them later and chases them, but he's unplugged all of his cameras and kind of gone a little bit off. If all his cameras were unplugged, and then the night that Alex's parents stabbed themselves, if he calls the cops and Paul is the one who shows up, but all his cameras are unplugged. And then that's a reason for all of the cops to cover this up and cover up this house. To be like the guy who is dating the daughter of the captain, who is already covering up for an abuse of power, is now making lies for why this guy's cameras were off. So when anytime that, like, whether it's Archer's character or Justine's character is like, we need to check Alex's house, that is a reason now for the police captain to be like, no, we don't. You got to stop it. Don't look into this. Because at this point, his son-in-law or this guy, and he's already covered for him, and there's missing police footage. I think if we shift this all back a little bit, it gives a reason for the police to be corrupt and covering up, and it has them make a lot more sense, and it brings the character of Paul and James, or Jimmy, I forget what it was, into the fold a lot sooner and in a way that has more plot relevancy.
I think I can get behind that. I kind of lost what you were saying about, like, so does Pete not get weaponized?
I think it could go either way there.
Being weaponized?
It could go either way there. Maybe a month being weaponized, or he's been missing and they think that he's just fallen off the wagon.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? To be like, oh, he got drunk and then he stopped showing up to work, but he's been weaponized and is there.
The cameras being unplugged is another mislead. You're right, because, like, that's not relevant to anything.
No, it doesn't actually go anywhere. But if it was the reason that no one had footage of this house and why the police were kind of covering it up, I feel like that could tie it in. So that was one idea. Another idea that I had, and it takes this movie in a completely different direction, is that there are touches of 4 rooms and some other things like this in here where I'm like, each character has their own perspective on the world, and I could actually go for a different directorial style or genre style between each character in this, where I think Justine is a little bit more of the most grounded, and it could kind of start normal. Paul's character is a little bit farcical and actually a little bit more comedic of like, you're not going to have anything in your pockets that stick me, are you? Oh, God damn it. And then the principal's stuff is definitely like the more hyper-violent kind of like slasher thriller horror stuff. I could deal with a little bit more directorial variation between each one. It changes the style of the movie, but it's something that could be done, and I'm not convinced on it. The other one, my other idea of shifting Paul's timeline forward, I'm more into, but we could do different styles for each chapter.
Interesting. I'm going to say I like shifting Pete's storyline back a little. Yeah. 4 different directors for each character, a different director style is such a different movie that's hard to be like, yes, that's the change we need. For me personally, it would be an interesting movie. That'd be super cool. I don't know if also this director has like done enough stuff to like work.
They have a comedy background, so they could certainly at least do the comedy stuff. You know, whether or not that adds enough variety, but
because some of the comedy in this rules.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the kids, we didn't talk about the kids chasing Gladys down to kill her, which is awesome. It's brutal. It's funny. It's satisfying. It fucking rules. Yeah. So yeah, more like that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's some. I meant to talk about that. Yeah. Very, very Dawn of the Dead. The way it's ripped apart. Also, the amount of like stunt kids they must have had for that scene.
Right.
Just everything involved.
They were jumping through windows.
Everything involved in that final sequence was phenomenal.
Really funny. Really funny. Really entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I think for a movie that is making me ask questions as to whether or not I liked it and be in a dialogue with itself, that's the best that I'm going to be able to do on that.
Totally fair.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week on the podcast. Next week on the podcast, we are building up to the release of the new Toxic Avenger. And so next week on the podcast, we are going to be talking about 1984's The Toxic Avenger.
Oh, boy.
So, I don't know.
I watched the trailer for it.
Oh, yeah?
So, I did. It's from the 80s.
Well, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. In the meantime, if you want to get a hold of us, you can find me online most places at Ivimey, Ivimey.
You can find me at Words of Diana.
And you can find both of us most places at From Superheroes, or find everything we create over at FromSuperheroes.com. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.